For this video, I tried out some conversion lenses for my new FUJIFILM X100VI. Let's check them out. So a few days ago, I got this camera in, the newly released FUJIFILM X100VI, and my intention for using this camera was not only just for fun and for my personal life, but I also wanted to try it out and use it a bit with professional applications, because I do photography and videography full-time for a living, and I do want to try it out in some capacity and just do some test shoots throughout some of the jobs that I do. And for that reason, I did end up getting two of these X100VI bodies. So this is the second one. I haven't actually even set this one up, but my reasoning for this is I did want to have a little bit of a flexibility, since this camera is a fixed lens. If you don't know what that means, basically this lens is fixed, so you can't take it off. It's on there, and that's the lens that you use. It's not an interchangeable lens like let's say from the cameras that I use, mostly the A7 series from Sony or the A1. This one is a fixed lens, and it's a 23mm lens, I believe, but comparable to a full frame focal length, it's a 35mm lens. If I were to just shoot with this camera and that one lens as a backup body, I would be happy. But I wanted to try something that's maybe unorthodox in the way people use this camera, and that's why I got two separate bodies. But on top of that, there are these Fujifilm made conversion lenses that you can attach to this camera, and you might have seen it or heard about it. These are the two conversion lenses. So basically you have a wide angle conversion and a tele conversion lens. The wide angle lens basically turns your 35mm X100 series camera into a 28mm equivalent. And on the opposite end, this teleconversion lens is, I think, a 1.5 conversion lens. So it turns this 35mm lens into more like a 50mm full frame equivalent. So that's what these two conversion lenses do. And if you are interested in maybe this camera, but we're always on the fence about the 35mm lens that comes with it, and you're maybe more of a wide shooter like a 28mm, or maybe you're more like a tele lens or a standard lens like a 50mm, maybe this might be the solution for you. But I want to go over some of the things that I did with them. I did some samples. I walked around and did some shooting with just the regular lens and both of these conversion lenses. I'll show those samples to you in just a bit. But what do you get when you buy these conversion lenses? As of the first half of 2024, they're about $350 each in US dollars. So what do you get when you purchase these conversion lenses, or at least one of them? When you buy one of these conversion lenses, you get a box, and in the box you'll get one of these depending on which one you buy, and also you get one of these soft carrying bag. Let's go ahead and open it up. So it's just a little bag with an X100 series logo on it. Just put it in there for protection if you want, but that's what it comes with. So in either case, you get one of those bags with it, and pretty much that's it, just the lenses. It has a little rubber backing there, or bottom, and then a screw-on cover, or not a screw-on, but just a clip-on cover. This conversion lens does have some filter threads there, so you'd be able to use some filters on top of that. I think it's a 67mm thread on the 1.5 teleconversion lens, and on the wide conversion lens it is a 49mm thread. The first thing that you're going to want to do, obviously, is attach them. Basically, it's really easy. You just have to unscrew this front part of the lens, and then you can screw that back on. But that part is a little bit tricky. If you just first open the box, it's a little tight. While you're holding onto the focus ring with maybe your thumb, go counterclockwise. Pretty soon, that will start to screw off. So this little front part is just a thin, I don't even know if this is metal. I think it's metal. And then now you'll have some threads right here where these will fit. So let's try the wide conversion lens. And this part is pretty self-explanatory. Just screws on until it's nice and tight. And this is the wide conversion lens, turning your X100 into a 28mm full frame equivalent. And here are a few shots that I took with the 28mm equivalent. So now let's try the teleconversion lens. So it comes off just the same way that you put it on there. So now we are doing the 1.5 teleconversion lens. You can see this is a lot significantly bigger element, and it's all made out of metal, by the way, and it looks like really good construction. The lens, the glass used for the lenses, it just looks like high quality to me. Just judging from the pictures that I took, I didn't see too much of like a crazy aberration or vignetting, or I didn't see much distortion. It looked like the image that came out of it just was the regular lens that I used, you know? So the image quality, definitely I didn't see any degradation. So image quality wise, they look great. So here are a few samples with this 50mm full frame equivalent on the X100VI. So during this photo walk, I also took a few shots without any of the conversion lenses. So I just used the X100VI just with the regular lens. And here are a few sample images with the regular 35mm full frame equivalent lens that comes with the X100VI. So I walked around first with the wide conversion lens attached. And then after I did kind of like about a 1 block worth of walking around and taking pictures, I took the conversion lens off, and then I shot just with the regular 35mm equivalent lens and did the same walk. I walked around the same block. And then after I did that, I did the same thing again, but this time with the 50mm equivalent. Basically by doing that, I was able to really get just a feeling out of the lenses. For me, what was cool is because in my Sony world, you know, I shoot with a full frame A1 and A7, FX3, those types of cameras, full frame cameras. And two of my favorite lenses for my full frame Sony cameras are actually a 24mm and a 50mm. So when I saw that there were two conversion lenses that were practically in those two focal lengths that I already love, I really was drawn to that. And that is exactly the reason why I bought two bodies and these conversion lenses. And so that is just to explain what my frame of thought was when I was jumping into this system. But here's the thing, I know that the Fuji X100 series is specifically tailored to a style of shooting where you don't want to be thinking too much. What it's doing basically is minimizing or minimalizing your process of photography. And I believe that is why this camera is so popular, why a lot of people gravitate towards it, why a lot of even pros love this camera, a lot of people new to photography love this camera. It's just the way that it simplifies photography. You don't have to change lenses, the form factor is really small, and that you can carry around with you and you barely notice that you have it with you. The image quality is amazing, it's excellent, and on top of that, the cherry on top is the styling. Everyone loves the styling, and all of those factors really converge in basically to making this camera a really good camera, and that's why it's so popular. So knowing that, you can kind of see where this approach might be contradictory to that. But hear me out on this. I kind of did this walk and it kind of confirmed those feelings for me, where I really hated switching between the lenses, and it wasted a little bit of time. And to me, it was kind of like there's another decision I have to make. Do I go with a 24 or with a 50? Or do I stick with the 35? For my experiment, that wasn't really, maybe that's half the case, because I really wanted to just test out each of the conversion lenses, each of the focal lengths. So to me, that wasn't really a big problem. But if you go out there thinking that, hey, you're gonna treat this like a lens, an interchangeable lens system, I think that type of approach would be antithetical to this system and how it was designed. So in that way, I would definitely stay away from that. But would I recommend this system? I think it's a maybe, a yes or a no. It depends. So here are the things that you have to think about. First of all, you have to really know if you like the 28mm focal length. You have to really know already, do you really like that 50mm focal length? And the way I would approach purchasing one of these is, if I already know I love 28mm or 24, close to that, then this would be a good purchase, this combination. The only negative though, as you can see, is it's not as compact anymore. So if you're willing to live with this slightly longer, barrel in front of the camera, then I think you'll be okay. I do love the fact that this camera is just this small, this tiny, and it really does fit into a pocket, and I barely notice it. I notice it a little bit when I have these conversion lenses on here. And even worse, when you do love the 50mm focal length, you're gonna have to put this big guy right in front of this, and it does make it noticeably bigger. So that's really the only caveat, and really the only negative is the size difference. I definitely wouldn't recommend this in a way where you think of this system or these lenses as interchangeable lenses. I definitely would not recommend that. But if you do love the X100 series cameras, but you just wished it was a 28mm, or you'd wished it was a 50mm, this is worth looking at, because the image quality is still there. You could still store it without the conversion lens, so you can practically put it in a fanny pack or something like that, and then when you go out to shoot, you just screw it on and then let it live there, if you know what I mean. So you don't want to be screwing it off and on a whole lot, because that kind of ruins the aesthetic and the philosophy, more the philosophy of having this type of compact camera. So that's what I recommend. That's my opinion. I don't know, what do you think? Do you have one of these conversion lenses, and how do you use them, and what do you think of them? Hopefully that helps. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.